You know that moment when everything flips, and the bully who's been pushing everyone around finally gets their comeuppance? Yeah, well, picture this. The U.S. Marshal's voice booming over the choppy waves off the Maine coast, reading Victoria Langford her rights while her fancy $3 million yacht bobs like a cork, surrounded by Coast Guard boats, and she's screeching about her so-called authority being violated. Just 6 hours before, this same woman had marched onto my dock with a stack of phony papers from the 1800s, demanding I hand over my whole island to her bogus homeowners association, like she owned the ocean itself. What she didn't know was I wasn't some clueless retiree who'd stumbled into paradise. I was planted there, waiting, because sometimes justice needs a little bait to catch the real sharks. Let me back up. I'm Jake Harlan, 42 now. But 3 weeks ago, I was settling into Eagle Point Island, this rugged 12-acre rock 3 miles off the shore, all craggy cliffs and whispering pines. Didn't win it in a poker game or inherit it from a rich uncle. Nah, after 15 years in Coast Guard intel, busting up smuggling rings that treated these New England islands like their personal highways, I'd testified against a syndicate that funneled drugs through hidden coves. Put 22 guys behind bars, seized $50 million in boats and cash, and as thanks, the feds let me pick from the leftovers through their witness asset program. Eagle Point clicked instantly. A 800-square-foot keeper's house tacked onto a 120-foot lighthouse from 1865, tricked out by the previous crooks with solar rigs, a wind turbine, even a desalination setup so I could go off-grid forever. There was a short airstrip for my old Piper Cub, a deep-water pier that screamed smuggler's dream, and bunkers from Prohibition days they'd repurposed for, well, midnight drop-offs. I spent my first nights wandering those trails, flashlight in hand, feeling like I'd stepped into a thriller. But hey, it was mine. A fresh start after years of shadows. Then came day 3, that low hum of a seaplane slicing the calm, unannounced, no radio ping, nothing. Through binoculars, I spot this cherry-red otter splashing down, followed by a sleek 70-foot azimuth yacht flanked by speedboats, all converging like a wolf pack. Out steps Victoria, 5'9" in those ridiculous stilettos wobbling on the planks, cream suit screaming suburban queen, hair so taut it could have snapped. She's maybe 58, Botox battling time, striding up with her crew. 4 board members in matching crests, a photographer with a lens like a cannon, and a guy in a sheriff's getup that smelled fake from a mile away. They fan out, snapping pics of my pier, the house, acting like inspectors on a mission. I climb down from rigging my new solar array, tools still in hand, and meet 'em halfway. Ocean salt mixing with her overpowering perfume, the kind that says, I'm in charge. She ignores me at first, barking at the shooter about violation angles, then turns with that shark smile. All lips, no soul. You must be the newcomer, she drawls, making it sound like I'd tracked mud on her carpet. I'm Victoria Langford, head of the Shoreline Estates Association, and we've got a problem with your little setup here. Out comes this leather binder, papers yellowed like ancient scrolls, wax seals gleaming, claiming some 1872 charter puts all islands within 6 miles under their thumb, transferred to her HOA in 2010. You owe $60,000 in arrears from the prior owner's defiance, she says, voice silky but edged, plus $6,000 monthly for coastal upkeep. Dock, airstrip, all improvements need our green light, or we inspect for compliance. The forgeries were laughable, phrasing too slick for the era, seals printed not stamped, but her eyes dared me to call it. Of course, if it's too much hassle, she adds with a wink, we'll buy it outright cash, quick close, save you the grief. Her game was clear. Intimidate, harass, force a fire sale, probably to developers hungry for waterfront, or worse, to keep whatever shady deals the old owners had going. Those watches on her crew screamed laundered cash, and her yacht's Cayman flag? Red flag central. I crossed my arms, kept cool. Years in intel taught me that. I'll run this by my lawyer, Miss Langford. Need your filings, audits, the works. Snapped pics of faces, badges. The sheriff averted his eyes, badge off format. Her mask slipped a hair. Mr. Harlan, you don't get how this coast works. Resistance brings complications. I'd hate for you to learn the hard way. Naked threat, her entourage shifting like they knew the drill. Threatening me? I shot back loud. Because that sounds like extortion. Officer, your details for the report? She stepped in fast. No drama. Deputy Hale's just witnessing. You've got 48 hours. Then fines kick in, $600 daily. They retreated coordinated, her yacht peeling off while the plane circled. Camera out, message received. We're watching. That night, unpacking in the keeper's house, I felt the isolation hit, but also the fire. This wasn't random. Victoria craved control, maybe tied to the syndicates I'd helped dismantle, using her HOA as a shield to muscle folks off prime land for profit or cover-ups. Called my old boss, Admiral Hayes, coded of course. Birds circling the nest, claiming the whole bay. He got it. Logged their patterns. We're tracking. Then Emily Chen, my maritime law whiz. 1887 charter. Hilarious fraud. Send pics, I'll shred it. My kid Sophie, 17, buzzed in excited. Dad, island life's epic. Can friends crash for bonfires? Didn't worry her yet, but I beefed security mentally. Rifling the place later, found a hidden safe. $25K cash, passports, a Beretta, and a ledger logging yacht visits. Victoria's boat 19 times, always nocturnal, 2-hour stays. Bingo, she wasn't just greedy, she was complicit, desperate to reclaim this spot before I unearthed her dirt. Harassment ramped next dawn, calls flooding, fuel leaks, wetland woes, fish impacts, all HOA committees. Fake inspector shows in a hardware vest. I greet with Emily on speaker. Credentials? Warrant? He stammers. Association rights? Emily cackles. He bolts. Afternoon, boats orbit blasting tunes. Wakes slamming my pier, yelling, Violator! Childish, but it wore you down. Feeling eyes everywhere. Vandalism hit night 3. Dock graffiti, submit or suffer. Plane tires shredded, sugar in tanks. Inner rage boiled. This was personal now, her power trip eroding my sanctuary. But my solar cams caught it all. The fake deputy, a tattooed thug from the ledger, evidence stacking. Told Hayes, they're pecking hard. Hold, we're closing in. Day 5, engines roar at dawn. -20 boats storming, Victoria's yacht leading, towing barges with dozers grinding ramps. 30 goons in police vests swarm, actors fidgety, no real cop vibe. Victoria megaphones. Jake Harlan, by Shoreline Authority, we're demolishing hazards, environmental threats to our community. Blades drop. First dozer pulverizes my shed. Gear crunching. $250K gone. Another rams the house. Kitchen exploding. Fridge tumbling. Where's the vault files? She yells, hunting proof of her ties. Gas on my piper. Burn the smuggler's toy. Her voice cracking desperate. I broadcast. This is federal trespass, impersonation, destruction. But she flares at papers. No evidence left. Heart pounding. This was her endgame, born from years manipulating the coast, stealing homes to launder syndicate cash, fearing I'd expose it all. Hit the beacon, sat-linked to Hayes' teams. Minutes later, chopper thrum, MH-60 SE swoop, rotors whipping chaos. Coast Guard! Freeze! You're under arrest! Ropes drop, MSRT operators hit dirt, rifles ready, cuffing actors who crumble. We're extras! She said reality show! Sniper pings Victoria's flare gun. She drops wailing, this is my jurisdiction. Cutters box her fleet. FBI joins, unearthing $15 million cash, 70 kilograms coke in bunkers. Her texts spill, coordinating drops. HOA is front for thefts, totaling $50 million across states. We rebuilt stronger. Navy crews fortifying, airstrip upgraded, lighthouse armored. Victoria got 50 years for RICO terrorism. Her empire dust. Assets feeding victim funds. 19 families reclaimed homes. But scars lingered. Sophie joined Coast Guard Academy, inspired. You showed fighting back matters, Dad. Eagle Point's now a watch post. Lighthouse Beam a guardian. Yet was it too easy? HOAs still wield power? Could another Victoria rise? Or did we just scratch the surface? Tell me below. Ever faced a bully like that in your neighborhood? Was justice served? Or should we rethink these associations altogether? Share your stories. Let's talk real change.